double the one of these is right now.
Hello. How are you? All right. How about you? Good. Okay, Jerome, first officer. Oh, you need your I knew I forgot. What's that? All right. All right, you can have a seat and then we'll call you in a few minutes. Are you having anything today? Sleep? No. Very. Is somebody yelling?
Yeah.
And how's your appetite? In your house, moving up there? Or your relative? Any calls?
Roger?
This is your first time here, right? But you've never seen our primary care. That's the, and then it's the, and yellow, the only thing you get to take medically. You don't need a rescue anymore. You need one that does too. And you have asthma? That's Chestnut Street office?
Oh, that's what it is.
You have a friend that does that? Oh, we should have you sign our release, and did we get you to sign our release yet? Did Janine do that with you? Let me see.
There isn't a PC or anything. It's very quiet though.
Yeah, it seems like it.
I took the light off. I was thinking to myself, I think a trash can. I'm really tired, sorry.
That's okay, I'm tired too, like, I didn't get any sleep last night.
I haven't slept well for like the last week and a half. I've had that.
Really?
Almost my whole life I've had that problem.
Oh, wow.
So looking at over-the-counter sleep aids,
Really?
because I don't want to take anything prescribed.
Right.
I took trazodone once. It's like an old antidepressant.
Mm-hmm.
And its main side effects are it makes you drowsy, so they use it, and I just don't like how I felt the next day.
Uh-uh.
But I'm getting desperate.
Have you ever tried Tylenol PMs?
It's all it's got in it is diphenhydramine.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing as Benadryl.
Right.
It doesn't do anything for me.
Nothing. I always, occasionally, when I take those, I sleep pretty well off of them, and I don't wake up feeling, drained or drowsy.
Sometimes I can fall asleep, I just can't stay asleep. That's the problem. So I think on me, because I have high anxiety, I've had it my whole life.
Really?
Oh yeah, I've had panic attacks. I've never taken anything
When
for
I
it.
first met you, I kind of thought that, but I wasn't sure.
Yeah, I've had anxiety my whole life. I think it's partially PTSD. A lot of crap went down when I was a kid, and I've been through counseling for it and stuff.
Have you really?
Oh yeah, all through my 20s. Yep.
What did you think about counseling? Did you think it helped any, or
It did help. I had to get the right counselor though. I went counselor shopping. So
Yeah.
I stayed with one counselor for about, I don't know, a year, I guess. And she was she was very nice, but she would fall asleep during our sessions.
Really?
Oh yeah, because she had like 2 or 3 jobs and kids. She was like in her mid to late 40s.
That's so funny.
And I was in my early 20s, and she was very nice. But I quit going to her because I'm like, it was mostly talk therapy. Like she wasn't really giving me a whole hell of a lot of advice, and half the time I don't think she was really listening.
Mm-hmm.
Which it was okay. It was just nice to have somebody to talk to get things out in the open. And then I went to this other counselor, and she was like the head of like a young females detention center kind of, but she was also a licensed counselor. So she ran like this home for wayward young girls, and I was still in my 20s at the time. And I really liked her. I only saw her a couple times, but she was kind of like in my face immediately.
Okay.
I wasn't ready for that shit. For somebody to just say to me, okay, well this and this and this is your problem, and these are things that you have to face, and I was dealing with depression and anxiety at the time, so I was like, who the hell are you? You don't know me, you just freaking met me.
Exactly.
So that pissed me off, and then I didn't see anybody for, oh man, I think a long time, but I was on, I saw a psychiatrist, and he diagnosed me with just, depression, clinical depression, actually.
Really?
Yep, and I was on Prozac for a while, and then
Oh, wow.
I think after I went off Prozac, that's when I tried the counseling. The counseling helped. I just didn't like the Prozac because I felt, I'm not trying to go antidepressant. It made me feel nothing.
I was gonna say, how did it make you feel? I had a cousin that was on it when he was younger, like
Yeah.
as we were growing up, and it seemed like it did nothing for him. Like they just didn't like all his activity. They didn't like how active he was. They felt his mind was overactive.
Well, it kind of made me more anxious, is what it did.
Yeah.
And I was already anxious, but and I broke up with a relationship because of it. I think because I felt like I needed nobody. I don't think it's such a bad thing to feel that way,
I don't
but
either.
that was probably the most healthy relationship I've ever been in. And he's like the nicest person I've met probably since,
Mm-hmm.
at least in my opinion. So he was just very nice. Like he had a great upbringing and nice parents and
Yeah.
just a really nice family. But I didn't, I was like 24 at the time. I didn't want to get married to anybody. And
Yeah.
so I went on Prozac at the time and I was like, I don't need you. I don't need anybody kind of attitude. I tried to get him back like not even a year later and he was already married. So
Oh wow, he jumped right into it.
I'm just telling you all this shit, not that I want you to feel sorry for me, but it takes time to find that right. They're not gonna really make a difference unless you trust them and you feel that they're really listening and that they get you at least a little bit.
Yeah.
But
Understanding helps.
But it totally helps, but you gotta find a camaraderie with that person.
Well, now I want to ask you though, like about the depression. Do you feel like you ever really get rid of it, or do you still like? Because I know, like in most cases, people that suffer from depression, they often like still have those up and downs. They fall into it every once in a while.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
Did you get rid of it completely, or?
No, it's something that I deal with probably when the weather changes. I've
Mhm.
noticed it a lot. And I just went through a breakup in August.
Yeah, I remember you saying that.
So, that's been really difficult. I feel better now. But,
That's like not long ago though.
I mean, it's almost been a year, but
And you and him were together for like, I think you said
almost
like
3 years.
3 years.
But, I mean, everyone is different. I mean, I can't tell you this is what's gonna help you or this is gonna work for you. You just have to go with your gut feeling, what feels right to you. But, I mean, I would try medication again, but I feel that I'm getting older and I feel like I'm growing out of the need for it because I'm able to not control my,
Identify.
yeah, I'm just able to like look at it objectively now.
Exactly.
Instead of letting my depression become me
Mhm.
and my anxiety become who I am, I just
Mhm.
see it now as a symptom. I see it objectively. Oh, kind of like a headache. Oh no, here's that symptom again.
Right.
And that's how I look at it now.
Right.
So I just know, like right now, I have a lot going on.
Yeah.
Just trying to just move on with my life. So I'm just trying to exercise more and get better sleep. And I notice my sleep is being affected. That really bothers me.
Yeah.
And when you have anxiety and depression already, I think not getting sleep is
Will
10 times worse.
completely just destroy you.
It's not healthy for anybody. There's some people that are fine with no sleep. Like they're just fine with it. Oh, I just need a few hours, but not me. I need that sleep.
I need to feel rested. Like when I get
Absolutely.
up, you know what I'm saying? Like, cause there's times when I sleep and I get up and I feel like I haven't rested at all. And that bothers me more than anything. Cause I'm like, how am I gonna get through my day?
Me too. I've done that. But I notice exercise doesn't even have to be strenuous. Meditation helps.
Yeah, I
Stuff
love
like that.
meditation.
And I've tried like
Outdoors. I like rain. So like
I would be
grass,
outside.
trees, stuff like that really help me. Like, just in general, I'm an outdoors type of person. Like, so I
Right.
spend as much time as I can outside.
Right. I don't blame you. I just don't like being outside like a day like today.
See, and I like the rain. I know you said that.
I hate it. I don't like it.
Like yesterday was way too much for me. Like the sun and the heat.
Yeah, that gets to me too.
Yeah, and then I'm on foot on top of that. It's not like I have the luxury of driving right now. So it's difficult. It's almost like I don't have melanin. There was a time where it was Caucasians that couldn't withstand the sun. And now it's like I get burnt up. Like I just recovered from a bad sunburn.
Really?
Yeah, I got really
Do you wear
dark.
sunscreen ever?
No.
Everybody they say should wear sunscreen. Everybody should.
But I have melanin. You get what I'm saying? Like that's a natural sun repellent.
Right.
It just absorbs it and converts it. So I don't do well with the sun out right now.
I just don't like the humidity.
Yeah, and it's a lot of that right now.
But like I said, I've tried Prozac. It worked really well for a while. but it worked too well. And then, so I was like feeling euphoric kinda.
Right.
And I tried Lexapro, I'd go home after work and I would fall asleep. I'd be so exhausted because it would relax me too much.
Right.
I'd go home and fall asleep for 3 or 4 hours, and then there was a problem with me getting to sleep. I tried Zoloft, it just kind of made me feel flat, like I didn't feel great.
Really?
I didn't feel great, I didn't feel bad, I just felt like nothing. I felt nothing. I didn't like that at all. I mean, to feel human is, I think, to feel some emotion,
Yeah.
but that's how it affected me. Everyone is different. I don't know. But I mean, some antidepressants have helped a lot of my friends, like a friend of
Sounds
mine.
like zero G. Remember the era of zero G? Oh my goodness.
What is it called?
Zero G, like we're in the era of 5G right now.
I don't even know what that means, I'm sorry.
I can't recall what the G stands for, but in terms of technology and, bandwidth, how fast things are running and how,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
I'll look that up.
It used to be really slow. Things used to be really slow and, sometimes slow isn't bad.
I don't mind it. I don't like things going too fast. My anxiety holds me back because I'm a perfectionist, so I don't like to do anything half-assed.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll put it off and put it off and put it.
Yeah.
I hate that, but those are just my experiences with counseling and mental health. And I mean, everybody experiences it. What do they say? They do or they don't. I mean, and even Judge Williams has been very open with her own bouts with depression and stuff.
Wow.
And that's why she's got so much empathy for everybody, and she really wants to help or try to help with people getting their lives better and stuff. But everybody's different. Medication isn't for everybody, and like I said, the counselor.
Right, and tomorrow's the day. Like I meet with Dr. Queen tomorrow, so I'm gonna find out. But it's kind of sounding like she's gonna recommend medication.
Well, she can't force it on you though.
Right. It's not like a outpatient commitment.
No, patient commitment's completely different. The mental health court completely different. I've only had, I think, since I've been here 9 years, I think 2 people, and they didn't stay on it for very long. They were on outpatient commitment, but they didn't keep them very long. And this mask is, by the way, bothering the crap out of me. It's got like little. Well, I washed a bunch of my masks.
Do yours ever, like, behind the ear, make it ache really bad? Mine's do that sometimes.
No, not so far, but this one is like, I washed it in hot water and then I let it drip dry. Because I hate just wasting all those masks. I feel bad. I do. So this one is particularly itchy. I think it's falling apart. But I had another one in here. Oh well. Maybe get some more from my supervisor. So you had sleep problems? Any other issues going on?
No,
Anything?
no. My right tire is still down. Like, I took it out on the 5th, which is just 2 days ago.
Oh, okay.
I rode 13 miles total, but like literally about a mile into the ride, the bad tire, like all the air was gone. I pumped it, I ride, and then literally like when I get about maybe about a mile from home, like in the opposite direction, it goes flat. And then I have this like little handheld air pump where I can, add air if I need to. It would not take air.
What?
Yeah, so I had to walk the bike home. I was so mad.
Did you ever take it to a bike shop?
Walmart doesn't know what's wrong with it. I haven't taken it to the bike shop because I really don't want to put the bike on the bus. But I'm gonna have to get over that.
Well, people do that all the time.
I know.
I mean, I've never done that, but I see people do it all the time.
Right. Yeah, I do too. Like when I'm at the train, it's nothing. Like even one of the bus drivers that often tries to talk to me, he showed me how it works and everything. But I don't know.
So when you get off the bus, and what if somebody's bike is stacked next to yours, and they have to take theirs off, and then is that what you're concerned about, or?
No. The whole reason that I got the bike was to stay away from the transit. I never imagined having to put the bike on the bus.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. I'm weird like that. I hate for my things to come into contact with certain stuff. I'm really big on energy and protecting my energy.
So you're talking about the energy from the bus affecting your bike, or?
Yeah,
Okay.
like a lot of it's a lot of low lives, a lot of, lower dimensional spiritual filth, you know, so sometimes that stuff will rub off and attach itself to you.
You talking about people that are on the bus that are low lives?
Yeah.
Okay. I've never taken the bus. I grew up in a small town, so I've never really had to deal with public transportation much, but I would imagine all kinds of people ride that bus. I would be kind of freaked out too. I wouldn't ride it at night, that's for sure.
It's so horrible.
Have you ever thought about leaving Akron and go to more like a
Yeah,
smaller
well,
community?
before this probation thing happened, I researched OKC. I was gonna like port out with my voucher.
Where's that?
Oklahoma.
I thought that's what you were gonna say.
Yep. So I thought about going there, and like I requested for my probation to be terminated recently. Although I've heard that the neighbors are gonna move, like I still like to port out and start the process for it, like during the warmer months. So maybe she'll bring it, like considering, you know.
Did she let some people graduate early? I mean, I'm just gonna ask you, are you concerned at all about this charge being expunged or not, or are you not concerned?
No, is that part of the program that it will be expunged?
Absolutely. Because let me see, because you didn't have that serious of a charge, did you?
Say it again.
How serious was your charge? I can't
It was an
remember.
assault, misdemeanor.
Let me see. I don't wanna give you the wrong information, because there's some assaults they won't excuse.
Okay.
But if it's gonna be something that can't be expunged anyway,
Exactly.
then I can see why, you know, what's the point? But, I mean, the other point would be to keep you out of jail, but they're not really putting a lot of people in jail anyway. For, you know, not for misdemeanors, unless it's a DV. I just went over all this stuff. Where are you? So it looks like, so we have 2 tracks, or maybe there's 3, I thought there used to be 3. So the prosecutor diversion program, that is the one that excuses after you complete the program, but you have to pay $75, which a lot of times the court will waive once you have no income. The court has a grant.
Okay.
And they have been able to do that. So I would ask Michelle about that. It's
Okay.
something that you can go like that day that you graduate, because we're most likely because we're gonna start court in person next week.
Okay.
I don't know if I told you that. I didn't tell everybody, because they just kind of sprung out.
You did tell me that you guys were looking at starting back in June.
Yes.
Yeah.
So let's say we graduate you. You can tell Michelle ahead of time, and you go down to the clerk of court's office, I think it's the 7th floor, and you just pay the money, and then you'll have like, I think you can have like a really quick interaction with the judge, or she can sign off on it that day. It looks like you are on the diversion track,
Okay.
and you could get that expunged, but that's what it's looking like.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah, I thought I heard you guys say that at the beginning of the program, but I wasn't sure. And I didn't know if graduating early, you know, if it was granted, how that would affect it, so.
Well, some people, they just, I mean, we know you don't use drugs.
Right, that's what I was saying, considering negative drug screens, compliance, you know, making my appointments.
And the assault wasn't against anybody you knew, it was just somebody that was following you?
Yeah,
That's what I thought.
and it's weird, like, he showed up at the BMV, like, the day that I went to get my new ID,
Uh-huh.
and like, I wanted to go and get a restraining order, but I was just like, I ended up leaving it alone. I had so much other stuff going on that I never got around to it, but I just couldn't even believe that he was bold enough to show up there.
And you said he was following you for how long?
It started in 2019.
Wow, that's a long time.
Yeah,
That's
at the
pretty
at the Firestone Branch Library, like late summer.
Okay. Did he ever try to talk to you?
No. And the officer didn't charge him, which was, you know what I'm saying? I just feel like I was so mistreated, you know?
Wow. I mean, he's part of a gang, did you say, or you're not sure?
No, gang stalking is like the covert operation, like, it's weird how the government uses people, you know what I'm saying? Like, I have to disclose a whole lot of details in order for you to understand that part, and I don't know if you wanna hear it.
But to you if you wanna talk about it, you don't have to if you don't want to.
But I don't, it's okay. But yeah, he's being used.
Oh, hold on, let's see. This is my last book. I don't even know the last up to court, but it looks like,
On the first.
it looks like you're dated to come back, not till the 29th. If you want, we can have you come to court next Tuesday to talk to the judge about this, or you can wait till the 29th.
Now look, she got the letter. I wanted to give her some time, to read it and see how she felt about it. What should I expect? Like, will she contact me, contact y'all?
She'll wait till we have court again,
Really?
or you can always request a courtroom observation. You can talk to her one-on-one instead of having it during court.
Right.
You just have to reach out to the bailiff and
Okay.
see if you can schedule a courtroom observation. But she still has to do it on record, so she would still have to make a decision during a court date, which
Mhm.
usually might happen during mental health court.
Right.
It's up to you, if you wanna try to reach out to her, or we can schedule you for court next week instead, so, you wanna think about it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Next week sounds like a good idea. I'm sure she'd be read the letter by then. And it'd be something to see how she feels about it.
Okay. I can put you on the agenda, that's no problem.
Okay.
You
Is it
can-
next Tuesday?
Tuesday in person, yep. And it's good to have everybody there. Just try to get there by 1:30, because we usually talk to the judge in her chambers for at least a half hour. So
Okay.
there's no specific time to show up, just try to get there by 1:30.
Okay.
And I'll try to text everybody, remind everybody, hey, we have court in person. Anyway. Or you can even talk to Michelle about it too, and get her opinion.
I cannot find her, it has to be in my green folder. I need to find her card, because she was the only one that I haven't put in the loop. Like, I contacted, what's her name? Bethany Shockey, the attorney.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I, gave her like a be informed type thing and a copy of what I sent the judge so that she would be aware. And, but I didn't think to contact the probation officer. It's just because her involvement is so minimal, it's weird, like, it seems like I'm just dealing with you as a judge but,
Well, Michelle's got probably 89 probationers on her list.
what?
Yeah, they're really overwhelmed. So
Oh.
I'm not saying mental health court's not a priority, it is, but that's why I'm involved, because she has way too many people on her case.
Yeah, that's insane.
So, I think during COVID, it's helped, because she could work from home and just make phone calls, so that's let her have a little more interaction with people. And I think it's important that she has interaction with people.
Yeah.
She represents the court, I represent CSS, so I'm just here as the liaison between the two. I'll give you your number again.
Okay.
I can text it to you too. I'm always used to writing down Post-its, but I just plug it into your phone. Did you have your phone with you
Yeah.
today? Oops.
Okay, go ahead.
I have a lot of M's. Give me 1 second. I must have 100 people with M's. Okay, it's 330-906-3687.
Got it.
You can even text her.
Okay.
Just say, just want to know your opinion. Do you think I should come to court next week and discuss, because if the judge, you said you sent a copy to her too?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So you see Dr. Queen tomorrow, is that over the phone?
You know what? I think we meet in person again.
Okay.
If I recall correctly, she gave me that option and I chose in person.
I think it is in person. I can look it up, but. And you only met her, one other time in person?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Uh-oh. Have they been calling you a lot for drug screens lately?
No, not really. I had, one last week, I think, or maybe it was the week before that. But it was constant, every week for a little bit there, and then Yeah, last week was probably the first week I didn't have one.
It's random, it's how it's supposed to be.
Well, yeah, and you know, I was always expecting to get the call on Monday. Sometimes they call you like on Tuesday or Wednesday, and they're like, you got till, 5 o'clock the next day. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah, they used to do them, and they weren't random, which was against, actually the Ohio Supreme Court rules.
Mm-hmm.
It was like that for years, and then right after, COVID, we quit drug screening anybody, and then over the last few months, they finally, after we've been asking them for 8.5 years, can we please do these randomly? And now they're like, okay, no problem.
Right.
We're like, geez, we've only been asking this forever. Because it's how it's supposed to be, completely random, so.
Right.
But initially, they wanted to have people go like that day, and we're like, come on, people work,
Yeah.
people have kids,
Right.
people have other appointments, we can't, and plus they were closing at, 3 or 4 o'clock at the time, so.
Really.
Yeah, now they close at 5, but we're like, that's not fair to call them at even 8 o'clock in the morning and have them come in that day, that's not fair at all, because we're asking them to be productive and go to groups and meet with
Right.
me, and it's like, come on now, so they at least changed that for us.
Well, that was cool.
Yeah, I was surprised they actually changed their minds.
Yeah.
Because they're pretty strict.
They are.
If you haven't noticed.
They are.
And they've been around a long time, Oriana House, like, I think longer than CSS has been around. It looks like it's an hour appointment. Probably your psych eval.
Yeah. I remember growing up, I had a cousin that lived on the north side. And I always see the place. And then I had a cousin that ended up having to go there. He'd get into trouble, So he would mention the Oriana House. And I think I even dropped him off or picked him up there once before. And I was like, you never think you would end up at these places. It's so disturbing.
Sorry, I'm just reading this email real quick, sorry.
That's okay.
Yeah, it's definitely in person, so.
Okay. He said it's for an hour. Do you know the
Yes.
time?
8:30.
8:30. I wrote it on my calendar. And when I looked today, I was thinking 10. So that's good to know. Just in case I don't get around to messing with it when I get home.